I'll call this meeting of the Orange Township Board of Trustees for a zoning hearing on August 6th to order. Director Duffy, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Ringel.
Here.
Mrs. Faust.
Here.
Ms. Knapp.
Here.
Will you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our agenda today is to hear application ZON-25-03, Aurora Farms Amendment. For those who aren't familiar with how we conduct our zoning hearings, what we'll have our zoning director provide his staff report. The board will have an opportunity to ask any questions of our director at that point in time. If the applicant would like to make a presentation after that, we can take the applicant's presentation. The board may have additional comments or questions at that time. We'll then open up the meeting to public comment, and we'll discuss more public comment, should we have some, and the procedure for that. And then the board will have some additional discussion and questions before potentially making a decision this evening. So I'll turn the floor over to Director Duffy.
Thank you, Chairman Ringel. I will start off by giving the staff report. This is rezoning case ZON-25-03 for property located at 5351 North Road, just over 24 acres in size. The current zoning is single-family plan residential district. The zoning would stay the same, but the applicant is requesting to amend the currently effective development plan to allow for 68 single-family lots, reduction from the previously approved development plan of 79 detached single-family condominiums. Again, there's one parcel in question, just over 24 acres. This is on the northeast corner of North Road and then Shanahan Road. This is east of the existing North Farms single-family development and just north of the easterly portion of North Farms along Hibbing Lane. So again, this would modify the currently effective development plan to allow for 68 single-family lots, which is 11 lots fewer than the previously approved plan of 79 detached single-family condos. That previous plan was approved under zoning application ZON-22-09, which was approved on November 21st of 2022. To the north is Planned Residential District, which is in Berlin Township, north of Shanahan Road. To the south is Single-Family Planned Residential District in North Farms. To the east is the railroad and then the Jennings Sports Park facility within Evans Farm. Then to the west is North Road and the main part of North Farm subdivision. On the following page, you can see the overall site plan provided by the applicant. North Road is to the west, which is at the top of the screen. Shanahan Road is to the north, which is to the right of the screen. And then Hibbing Lane stubs into the south of the project, which is on the left side of the screen. So on the bottom or the east side is the railroad tracks. On the following page of the staff report, you can see the side-by-side of the previously approved condominium plan and then the proposed plan that we have before us. The old condominium plan is on the left there in color, and then to the right is the currently proposed plan. All right, so in terms of the zoning changes, this is a review of the permitted uses in the Aurora Farms SFPRD amendment. The use would be single-family homes. These would be platted single-family lots as compared to the previous plan, which was for freestanding condos. Just a reminder that platted lots have individual ownership while condominiums share ownership of the land while retaining control over the singular structures. The plans submitted show a mix of 2-bedroom units and 3-bedroom units. In terms of the development standards of the lots, we're looking at 62 feet proposed at the front line of the dwelling for the lot width, 120 feet in lot depth for lots 1 through 26, 48 through 50, and 58 through 68, and then 130 feet for all other lots. Side yard setback is proposed to be at 6 feet per lot. Front setback would be 20 feet from the local roads. The rear yard setback would be 25 feet for the aforementioned lots 1 through 26, 48 through 50, and 58 through 68, and then 35 feet for all other lots. I will go through the divergences in a later section, but just to note that the majority of those do require divergences from the single-family plan residential district base code. In terms of units, again, 68 single-family units, which is fewer than the previously approved condominiums. That brings the overall density down to 2.85 dwelling units per acre compared to the condominium plan's density of 3.28 units per acre. The minimum square footage for each home, the requirement in the text is that they all are at least 1,228 square feet in size. The applicant is also requesting to increase the allowable lot coverage from 25% of the lot area to 51% of the lot area. In terms of architectural elements, the textual requirements did not change from the previously approved plan. So cementitious siding, smart siding, brick veneer, vinyl, stone, and stone veneer are all permitted as primary exterior facade materials. Permitted trim materials would include wood, PVC, vinyl, cementitious trim, and aluminum. The applicant is proposing to have 5.54 acres of open space on the parcel with a total size of just around 24 acres. That brings the open space calculation to 23.17% of the site. As a reminder, the minimum in the SFPRD is 20%, so they do exceed the minimum. And the basin retention pond is roughly the same size and basically in the same location as in previous plans. For road access and connectivity, they will have 2 vehicular access points. The main entrance would be along North Road, and then again, this would stub into Hibbing Lane to the development to the south. For lighting, this would be in compliance with the zoning resolution. Minimal street lighting is proposed. All lighting fixtures would have a maximum of 12 feet in height. For signage, there was no change proposed. The applicant is proposing 1 monument sign, which would comply with the signage standards of the zoning resolution. For vehicular and pedestrian access, again, those 2 vehicular access points are proposed, as well as there would be 10-foot asphalt multi-use pathways that would be installed along North Road and then Shanahan Road, and then 5-foot sidewalks to be included internally. For landscaping, a landscaping plan was submitted that shows a variety of trees and shrubs to be planted. Street trees would be along the internal streets, and plantings are also concentrated along the North Road frontage for some buffering there, as well as around the retention pond. Mounding along North Road was shown, not along the entire North Road frontage, but a good section of it as space allowed, and the frontage along that North Road where the mounding is would be communal open space, which would be maintained by the HOA. So again, going back to the divergences, because there are a few. The first is section 10.07A, the intensity of use to allow for gross density of 2.85 units per acre instead of 2, and to allow the maximum number of dwelling units on any single acre to be 4 instead of 3. Section 10.07C for lot width to allow 62 feet instead of 75 feet. Section 10.07D, lot depth to allow 120 feet instead of 130 feet for lots 1 through 26, 48 through 50, and 58 through 68. Section 10.07E, side yard setback to allow for 6 feet instead of 12.5 feet. Section 10.07F, the building setback from the road to allow for 20 feet from the right-of-way instead of 30 feet. Section 10.07G, the rear setback to allow for 25 feet instead of 35 feet for lots 1 through 26, 48 through 50, and 58 through 68. And then the maximum lot coverage to allow for 51% instead of 25%. And we do note that all those divergences are from the base SFPRD text and not from the previously approved plan. The previously approved plan also contained divergences for density and setbacks. In terms of staff comments, we don't have any additional at this time. We did note that new utility letters were not received from the applicant. That's not necessarily a requirement of the zoning, but we do generally like to see that at this stage, but not necessarily required. Review from other agencies. The Orange Township Fire Department has not reviewed the updated site plan because the street layout is changing. Fire department approval will be required. Apparently there was some mix-up with the applicant and their engineering consultant as to who was submitting that approval to the fire department. If the board wishes to move forward with an approval this evening, what I would suggest is the layout is not necessarily set in stone until the final plat is recorded. So if you were to move for approval this evening, I have included a potential modification to that approval, which would require the applicant to show approval from the fire department before the zoning department approves the final plat. Delaware County Regional Planning did not review this because it is an amendment to a previously approved development plan. The layout would have to go through review through the various technical agencies through platting and subdivision, including zoning and fire review at that time.
And just to clarify, it won't need regional planning approval?
Correct.
Okay.
The zoning commission did recommend approval with modifications with a 5-0 vote at their meeting on July 8th, subject to 4 conditions. 3 of those conditions have been met. The one that was not met was, again, the fire department approval. That is all I have at this time. Happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Discussion, questions?
I had a couple questions. The fence along the railroad that was brought up by the zoning commission, I think that's a good idea. I couldn't find it on the drawing. I don't know if you guys, as not being the architect, can you show me what sheet that's on? And while he's looking at that, I typically won't approve anything until the fire department's blessed it, so that would definitely be a condition, just to, yeah, that we would need to check that off.
Mrs. Faust, it's on sheet C7.
Okay, Eric, can you, and maybe I just have a older version.
Eric, it's page 26 of the PDF.
Okay. Oh, there. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that just doesn't show up on mine. I must have an older version. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure it was there. And then just to be clear, so there obviously are a lot of divergences for setbacks and lot size, but they were already approved, probably even in smaller, not side, but like smaller setbacks with the previous version that was approved in 2022. So just kind of stating that out there, that that's already, like you had said, that's already been approved with the most recent approval. Oh, and then on the text, on section 10.03, I know we switched to 68 units. The text says 65 still, so just when you guys do the final, and then update the acreage, the density, 2.83, 2.85, something to that extent. I don't think it's the 2.72, so. And then the single-family cluster housing, the one below that, the only real cluster we're doing is just to keep the retention pond. There's some space there, and there's obviously space along the main roads, North Road and then Shanahan Road. It's not like there's going to be, sometimes when we have cluster housing, there'll be like a central, like, fun area, like community gathering spot. So it's not necessarily, that it hits different than some of our other communities that have said we're using cluster housing because there's like a clubhouse, but it's just a typical single-family development. It's just a little bit bigger spaces in certain areas. So that was my only comment.
Yeah, so the open space was reduced with this plan, is that right?
That is correct.
By, what was it again? In that,
From 32.58 to 23.17? Does that sound
Yeah.
right?
so that was surprising. So why did that happen? Because I would think with a smaller density that there would be more open space.
Well, so I think part of it is switching from condominiums versus single-family platted lots where, the land on each lot cannot count towards that open space. And then part of it is, even though the density is reduced in terms of the number of units, the units are bigger, and there's a little more space in between, so that space just gets eaten up that way.
Yeah, when you look at the most recent approval, Eric, if you want to show us the comparison, maybe it's it looks like there was a little bit more open space along the tracks, there was a little bit more open space, like in that northwest corner of the development. The pond is comparable in size. So I think that's what jumped out at me as being, there's like not a walking path, like surrounding the area, there's obviously sidewalks within the development.
Yeah, so the open space then, the two squares, is that open space? Where's the pond?
Pond is that, it's the rectangle, it's basically in the same
Spot?
location, yeah.
Okay, so is there an area where people can go and like play around in the area? Because with the lots being,
I think if you go on that curve, you could kind of like, we're across from the mailboxes, they moved those mailboxes to the, Eric, you want, yeah, there.
southwest corner of the
So like
pond.
if you go across from that, it looks like it's grass, that I could go and like fish at that pond if it's allowed, that kind of stuff, and go around that pond area.
but is it usable green space? Because do we have a category for like active or passive?
We do have, yes, basically, this open space is the passive maintained open space, which is required by the zoning resolution.
So all the space that's gray on the drawing?
Correct.
Okay.
And then what is the white part then?
The white part, I believe, is the pond.
That is the pond, okay. But that's part of the passive maintained
Correct.
open
It does
space?
count towards the open
Right,
space.
okay, so that whole open space there is passive unmaintained? Is that right?
Passive maintained.
Maintained.
Oh, passive maintained. Yeah, passive maintained.
And that's not to say that the applicant couldn't have some kind of walking path or something, but it's, it's not programmed with a playground or pickleball courts or anything like that.
Yeah, is this geared more towards families without children?
No,
Or-
it's geared towards, anybody who would
Anybody.
live here, but, yeah, so that whole area around the pond, it would be accessible for recreation or anything. It'll be maintained by the HOA, but anybody who lives back there would have access to,
Utilize that space,
play around there.
yeah.
So is there a place for kids to play in the area outside from the pond?
There is no, playground.
But Northwood Park is down the street.
Oh, yeah, but but there's, is there any space like in the green space around the pond? It's hard for me to visualize like how big that little area is, like, is there a place for anyone to go like kick a ball around or throw something, like,
There it is,
It's-
and so the square outline you see there on the right side.
yeah,
It's a little separate. The pond will look like it does on the left side. It's gonna have like more natural curvature to it and stuff. The way that's outlined, I think, is, it's more of an engineering design.
it looks weird, like, it's hard for me to visualize.
Yeah, it's really not a great drawing. So, yeah, visually, it's gonna look just like the one on the left.
Okay, but it doesn't take up both of those shapes?
No, it's not gonna have that shape or outline. It's gonna have the same shape as the one on the left.
Okay, but so it looks like, but it will be at the volume of the white areas with the hash marks?
No.
That won't be that big.
It won't be that big, because that takes up a lot. So there is space like around it for kids to run around, because with these yards being kind of small, like in my neighborhood, we don't have any, we're one of the older neighborhoods without required green space, and there's nowhere for kids other than the street, There's nowhere for kids to go and play, and most of the other neighborhoods have an area where anyone can go there and throw a ball around or kick a ball or goof off, without annoying
Yeah,
other
it's
neighbors.
not a great selling feature at all for this neighborhood, but there'll be plenty of space for activities. I honestly think that'll be a great feature, and in fact, those houses that back up to that lot, it's gonna be very attractive, and, anybody from the neighborhood will be able to access that area around the pond and utilize that space.
And all of the houses can access it through those little
Across the-
easement lots,
from
right?
Across the
Yeah.
mailboxes, and then also the cul-de-sac at the top. They could get to it from either side.
And yeah, way at the very top. Is there an easement from the top to access it?
They can get there from the street there, right?
From the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So there, it looks like there's 3 accesses, is that right?
No, so that dead ends into, the cul-de-sac is next to the railroad track.
Okay, but what are the little lots that have the cut through?
The ones there on the top. I can't read those
Right.
numbers. 46, 47, 45, those ones? Oh,
Oh, that's just part.
oh, right, that.
That, they're like,
On the south side of the,
yeah, there's the little path, that's part of the path, so anyone from like, coming from,
Yeah, so that would be private property.
right there, what Eric's showing
Yeah.
right there is private.
Where is
property.
it?
If it's.
Where his cursor
right
is.
there.
The
yeah,
way-
but the little, on, so there's no, see, right here.
Yeah, there you can access, yeah, from the street.
Yeah, so it's, they're shown here on the
Across
left.
from the mailbox.
I can't explain this here, is that what, on the left side, which.
Southwest corner.
Yeah, this, yeah, it's, yeah, like, it has a little cut-through sidewalk that looks like it goes right to the pond. There's 2 of them.
Oh, the dash lines, is that what you're talking about?
You're referring to the previous design.
Yeah, but it
that has
looks
the
like-
Walkway.
Yeah, is there anything like that to access it through the corresponding, it's gray. Is there anything, is there only one, that
Oh,
part?
yeah, the multi-use paths. That's what that's referring to. Would you mind going to the landscape plan? I think they might be shown on there.
Couldn't explain it.
So there is multi-use paths proposed, but I don't see where they're located. But that would be where they will be.
Will they be around the pond?
Around the
Oh,
pond,
okay.
yeah.
But, and how will people, so where will people access the open space from?
From the sidewalks off the streets.
But will they have to cut through people's yards to get there?
No, they can access it on the north side from the cul-de-sac or on the southwest corner. There's a place where there's no house.
Yeah.
And so that's all public, open, HOA
But
controlled.
where's that?
It's easier to see.
Where's that on
this
the
one.
map?
So this part, this gray area here, and this gray, like this part here. See, these are the mailboxes, so they would access.
Oh, so just like it was before, this similar
Similar
area,
to before,
right?
yeah.
So they can still access,
Yeah,
okay, I just want to make sure that people didn't have to cut through.
correct, yeah. That,
Yards.
those, like this will be cut, the gray area here will be cut.
Okay, so
by
it's
the-
very similar, just looks different.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to make sure there was an easement, so anyone can walk the sidewalks. They can go north and access it from all sides.
Yeah.
And they can access it
So they
from,
get from the south down here or the north up there on the cul-de-sac.
yeah, so somebody, okay. And then, of course, if you back up to it, you just walk right
Scratch your
through,
back.
right? I just want to make sure, because then, people get real picky about kids cutting through their yards, and kids will just keep doing it over and over. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but some people get really upset about this. So anyone living here can easily and quickly, through the most direct route possible, pretty much, get on the sidewalk and just cut right through there. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
good.
the whole neighborhood can benefit from that, so they'll
Okay.
all have access.
And will that be, can that be labeled somehow? So, I mean, would that be demarcated from those lots that are there?
Yeah, so, well, I think it is already.
Is it?
Yeah, so if you look at, anything that's gray there is considered common area controlled by the HOA, that anybody in the neighborhood, that lives in the neighborhood can have access to.
But is there anything, so when, I've seen this many times before, where kids will come off the sidewalk and the neighboring, they'll end up venturing into the neighboring yards somehow, even though it's really small. Like, is there any kind of physical demarcation there?
Like in
a sign? or a-
subdivision close to where I am, they have just like a wood post, it's like 3 foot tall, that you kind of know, like, this is that
Yeah.
homeowner's, this is like general HOA, this is that homeowner.
Yeah,
I would like
Just to keep them out of people's yards.
Yeah, I would like to see that at all 3, I think, unless one of the, yeah, at all 3 accesses where, and that way people feel comfortable cutting across it too, because sometimes you don't really know
Am I
where
allowed
that
to play
begins
here
and
or not?
ends.
Yeah.
And then you have people veering, I mean, those are pretty small lots on the sides, and then sometimes the people that live in those lots don't want people cutting through,
Yeah.
and that's my yard, but,
Right.
and I know how it's supposed to work, but in reality, there ends up being a lot of stress sometimes for that. So is there anything you could do, like some
So it's
kind of-
almost like a little piece at the front and the back of the lots on the set, you know, like the 3 lots that are abutting the access points.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think the easiest thing we could do to make sure that we avoid that in the future is we can have our landscaping plan adjusted so that there's like, not necessarily mounting, but like a row of trees or some shrubs or bushes
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
That are right off those people's property, like where people are walking through there, so that it's very clearly
Yeah.
delineated that this is the open space, the other side of this bush is somebody's.
Someone's house.
Yeah, that would be helpful for everybody, and that also just keeps the kids who don't know any better from even veering off. I mean, those people, I'm assuming, will probably get fences, but if they don't choose to do that, because is there, let's see here, because all the properties, pretty much, that one lot there is kind of weird, that's kind of in the middle of the open space, on the bottom left of the open space.
Yeah, I think that would be either of those lots
59?
down there, I think that'd be an appropriate place where we can adjust our landscape plan to make it more clear.
So you could do that in all 3 places?
So that's lots 59, 58, and 47. Is that the right numbers?
Wait,
Correct.
where-
59, 58, and 47. It's turned over.
Yeah, 59, yeah, between,
Yeah,
50,
so like-
yeah, you're right, 59, 58, and 47.
Yeah, it's over here, off this sidewalk, so that,
There's only 2 accesses?
yeah.
Oh,
there's
yeah,
two.
so just 2
Yeah.
accesses, yeah.
Yeah.
Could you do some bushes or something, and could you have a little sign, maybe a small sign that says something, because I know, I think in Westerville, there's a Metzger Park, and they also have like an area you can walk through the trees, and there's some kind of little sign there that says like,
Property managed by the HOA.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. No, I think
I
that's.
feel like off of Bell Canyon or something like that. too,
our
so-
access to the
Yeah.
playground. I mean, I don't know what
Access
an
to the green
appropriate
space.
wording
Right.
would be. And I've never actually even looked at the sign, but I see a little sign and then people just cutting through the field to go to the play area. And it, yeah,
Yeah,
something like, I don't know how that would be worded. We should tell them though, if,
just something that clearly delineates.
yeah, you can
This is
probably make up,
HOA,
yeah, because you
right,
guys
yeah.
probably have better experience
Yeah.
with wording it. But yeah, something like that with the bushes along the sides, so that people just, there's no contentious.
So the
Situations.
language that I just drafted was the applicant shall revise the landscape plan to include shrubs or bushes in the common areas around lots 47, 48, and 59.
47, 58, and 59.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
47, 58.
58. and
Yeah,
59.
and signage at the entrance that indicates, what's a good way to say that? That indicates that that's an access for the,
Something that clearly delineates between private property and HOA.
Yeah.
property.
Yep.
and that way people feel comfortable going back there. And, and kids could technically, I guess you could just technically, that's part of the play area, it's an access, but you could hang around in that area.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's a great idea because when there's problems with neighbors, sometimes we end up being the first call instead of the HOA. So.
Right.
And
Put the
then-
sign there and.
Yeah, and then sometimes the person even buying the lot, or they don't even know where their property line ends, or, the kids or parents don't know, and yeah, it can be very contentious, and then there's no going back.
First owner will probably know, second owner, they have no idea.
Huh?
So the first owner will probably know, but the second owner has no idea.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I have to mow back here. I liked the fact that the houses are a little bit, some of them are a little bit smaller than most of the options that are existing here in the township. So, hopefully it would be something that more of a starter home on some of them that, it's a price point that we don't necessarily have really in the community. So I'm excited about that. Opportunity for future residents or children of, adult children of existing residents or something like that to be able to afford a house.
And I'll add, I appreciate the zoning commission's recommendation of the privacy fence. I
Yeah,
think
me
that will
too.
help as we explore the potential for a quiet zone on the railroad. We don't currently have one in place.
And just for the neighbors that back up to the open space, are you gonna delineate those at all? Like, are they gonna get fences or?
The owners have an option to put in fences. There's nothing that, like, when we sell them the home, though, no, there's nothing that would be there at the time, to clearly delineate.
Because I still have to go back to just those lots, and that could be a problem too. I don't know if you could put a small line of bushes or something along the backyards there, because the same thing's gonna happen. They're not gonna know where the property line is. if
But they
don't-
might want to have, just like make it feel like a deeper lot.
Yeah,
And obviously understand that people would be in their
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
But like, that could be a selling, like, for me, like, I'd love to have it.
Oh, it doesn't have to be
I'm only have to
big.
I'm only mowing 20 feet of it, but I really get to see 50, and someone else is mowing that last 30, and then I get a pond. Like, I would love that
Oh,
unobstructed
yeah, that is
view.
nice, but then you have
Yeah.
people again running into the yards or not. I don't know if there's, you could even just put something at the corners or something. It doesn't have to be expensive, just
Yeah,
something.
you almost could do the post there, just like, boop, here's the,
So I think.
Yeah, posts,
What
yeah.
actually ends up happening a lot of times is the landscapers that the HOAs hire, they end up delineating those lines themselves for their crews.
Yeah.
So what you'll end up seeing is like a white stake that's
Mhm.
this tall, on the corners of lots, so that those landscapers know, like, this is where the private properties are.
Right.
Could you add those then? Could we add that? Or would it be to each corner of each lot, or would it just be the whole one on each?
It's typically the corners.
the far
The-
end,
the far
right?
corners,
So
okay.
like it,
Yeah, so then you wouldn't have to do all
like
the way
39 and 44, like those, like
Yeah, those
this
corners,
corner,
yeah, yeah.
that
Could you
corner.
just put something at those corners, like a,
Yeah.
something, or you could even, so it doesn't have to be big, but big enough to know, and you could even, I know sometimes people will say like, private property past this point, or it could just be about, or just something that the average person could understand. And that one lot 58, that's just kind of like in the middle of everything.
They get a bigger yard?
It's almost like an afterthought, though. Yeah, I might need this, something at that corner too of 58, just to kind of delineate that as well.
Yeah,
And 47, just that, maybe at one at each corner.
yeah, we can include that with comments or revisions from either the landscape architect or some sort of physical, stake or something that delineates the
Yeah.
property.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be too fancy, because people will probably want to put, I'm assuming fences to keep people out, but yeah, if you can just make sure that those boundaries are clearly delineated there, and that doesn't, like I said, have to be landscaping, but, yeah, that'd be great. Do you have that, Robin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we want to open it for public comment?
Do we have an estimate on
Arrival?
applicants' arrival at this point? Okay. I'm happy to open it up for public comment.
Yeah.
If we have any public comment this evening?
Yeah.
Come to the podium, state your name and address, direct your comments to the board, please, and if you have any questions, we'll ask those to the applicant after we've received all of your public comment.
Great. Well, first, thanks for letting me come today. Hello, everyone. My name's Gus Dominic. I'm building a house across the street from the development, actually, at 5522 North Road with my wife. So we saw the signs about the meeting, and I said, hey, I'll come. So my first meeting, first public comment, so excited about that. Thanks for all you guys are doing. And I just, progress is happening. I don't think I'm raising a stink or anything, but I am just curious, why less, why less units? Why the change? I know I'm getting involved late in the process, but just curious. And then I guess my other point is I love looking at the night sky. You guys have great skies up here compared to Columbus, and I didn't know if I heard the lighting was minimal, and I just didn't know if you guys were considering that at all. So, thanks for letting me speak.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you. And welcome to the township.
Robin, there's no street lighting, or there's no lighting on the streets, right?
There's decorative street lighting, it's not the standard street lighting that
Okay.
you would think of.
Oh,
Can you guys describe decorative street lighting? What's that mean?
Yeah, I believe what we proposed is what Orange Township suggests as far as lighting, so we weren't seeking any variances or divergences from that. If I recall, I think there were maybe like 10 or 12 foot on a pole with like a fixture on top, and they're all kind of shielded, so.
Downlit.
Yeah, so we'll be avoiding light pollution. And then as far as like lighting on the houses, it would all be like your standard like coach lights or something you'd see on a front porch or something. So yeah, they're all kind of be shielded. And the lighting requirements, those are included in our HOA too, so we would be able to avoid any like obtrusive or obnoxious spotlights, things like that. Those aren't allowed.
how many of those lights are there? How many of those lights are there, the decorative lights?
The street light?
Yeah, street lights.
Yeah.
I don't recall off the top of my head. I think it's shown on one of the plans though.
It's not like the post light that's like one per house, right?
It's not one
like,
per house. They're
Okay.
spaced out.
Like how many?
I can't recall.
Robin, do you know how many there are? Because I don't think we have any
I don't
neighborhoods
think
with,
that
we have no
have
neighborhoods with
streetlights.
post lights at all in the whole township.
Yeah.
That's some, we don't have any post lighting in the township.
most of our neighborhoods that have lighting, they'll have, you know, like in my flower bed, there's a pole or, you know, near the, like in the, not like in the mailbox area, like that's in the strip, but like back, there'll be a 6 foot tall or 8 foot tall light,
Do you
that
have
kind of
those in
thing.
your neighborhood?
We, each house has a pole light that has to, that comes on with the, like it's on and off, it's sun controlled. So there's always that
And
light.
they're short.
Yeah, they're like 8
And
feet.
how tall
I
are
can-
these?
I can change the light,
Is
and
it
I'm
possible to
not
make
sure.
them
6 feet.
shorter? Because, did you say 8 to 12 feet? Or,
Yeah, that's pretty high.
yeah, because we do like the dark skies. I mean, that was always a philosophy, that we're very close to the Perkins Observatory. So decades ago, of course, we're all built up now, but we like to keep the dark skies. It's kind of like all the townships around here.
Do you recall if there was a section that
Is that C8? Is that what sheet we're on?
So I don't think it's shown on any of the current plans. Essentially, it was shown on the previous condominium plan, and the text stated that it would have lighting similar to that. So if the applicant wants lighting, then this would be the time to,
we don't, no, we don't have a requirement for the lighting, so we all prefer that.
Yeah.
I prefer to not have,
yeah, the way the text,
Yeah.
I like it dark.
But don't get me
yeah.
wrong, there are some people that complain that it's dark, so you can't make everybody happy.
Oh, do you want to introduce yourself? You just got here, sorry. Okay.
and Jared, sorry, could you speak into the microphone, please?
Yeah, Jared Schiff, I'm the applicant. Apologies for the tardiness, and our attorney had an emergency literal, and anyway, he should be here shortly. He was leaving the hospital.
Okay.
But, forgive me, the question was?
Lighting.
Lighting, yeah. Are we talking about the actual street lighting that, you know, that you see going down the street that illuminates the street, or are we talking more so housing lighting, or both?
The street lighting or any like little post lighting, and, because we don't really have that in the township. I know like the city of Delaware has a lot of lights, but we don't really have any of that kind, we don't have a requirement for it. And, I mean, sometimes it could look quaint, just depending if it was kind of low lighting. We just want to make sure that if there was any, we knew what it looked like and how many there were. But I think we would prefer not to have any, there's no requirement. But, and then the coach lighting and stuff that's on the house, that's a difference.
As, you guys, yeah, I mean, I can tell you, we're fine as the applicant goes, so long as you guys are, it sounds like you are, not having any street lighting.
Okay.
Yeah. and-
Would you have like a post light to give some light to the, to the street? Like, it's very minimal is what we have in mind. What do you have in
Yeah,
yours?
what is yours?
We don't have any street
You have
lighting.
nothing. So you
I
have
have
like a
nothing.
carriage
I have
light and a front
nothing.
porch
How do you
light.
see driving down the street, how do you see the
We
road?
do not
Just-
have a carriage light.
You literally have no lights where you are?
We have no
On our
lights.
On our home, but no lights in
I
the,
don't-
Nothing in the grass or in a
Correct.
mulch bed or, okay.
No,
So
I
there's
don't.
no
I've never-
street lighting, the vertical street
Correct.
lights at all?
but we were built in 93.
Yeah, what about you, Lisa?
No, none.
Do you have, so you have like a front porch light
Yeah, we have
that
no
the
idea.
homeowner can choose to turn on or off?
Yeah, we
But
have
that's
no,
it.
I haven't,
Okay.
I don't think they have any at, I don't think we have. I
Yeah,
mean,
my whole
maybe-
neighborhood-
Yours are real small. How tall are yours?
I mean, like I said, I can change the light on it. I'm 5'3". So like, I mean, I gotta do that. It's like maybe
So
5.5,
6.
6 feet.
Because
Not high.
I'm looking at Oak Creek and I don't see any.
those
So usually your headlights would display the
Illuminate the
street
street,
light, yeah. That kind of just keeps dark. Obviously also would be less expensive too. That's a feature.
Because then you don't have to run
I'm
electric
fine
to
with
the,
not doing streetlights. I don't know if the county, I'm just throwing this out, I don't know if they would weigh in and
No.
say you
It's
have
not
to? No?
Not required.
All right, no streetlights it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, good.
Would that be written into the
we'll just
code,
make
or-
that a
There's
condition.
nothing in the text that requires it currently, so it's fine to just leave it as is.
And there's nothing in there that states, or is there, it does state that they
No, so
will
it just
be?
says that the lighting will conform with the requirements of the zoning resolution.
Okay, so they didn't include any lighting in there?
Okay.
Okay, so you're good. You don't have to change
This
anything.
is Mike, the attorney. Do you mind if I step out and grab her real quick?
Yeah, grab.
Yeah, yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
sorry, again.
You can-
No worries.
Erica, what's your address?
3070 Pleasant Colony,
I know where it's at, but
3070.
Now, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the iterations of this plan, but would you be able to provide the high-level overview of how we got to condos, why we're going to single-family?
Yeah, happy to answer that question. So I don't know exactly.
You can grab the microphone as well, sorry.
So I don't know exactly why the condo original plan didn't come to fruition. I can't speak to that. I can tell you that we would love to have more houses here, but the space is just too limited for us to add any more lots. So as far as the reduction, it was just a difference between what you see in a single-family platted lot versus the condominium, which you did a good job explaining earlier. You know, that difference between open space is because now people have those private platted lots versus what was originally the condos. So,
Okay.
yeah, we'd love to have more lots if we could. The more lots we can fit in there, the lower we can get those starting prices. But
This is where we are.
where's the light on your house?
Nope. It's in the front, it's in that flower bed up there. But most of the neighbors down the street, like, can you move down the street that way?
Additional questions or discussion?
We're just looking at.
We're looking at
Look
street lighting.
We're looking at street lights, wait, just
So theirs are right there.
right here?
See that?
Oh, that little one?
Yeah, they're teeny.
Do they give a lot of illumination?
No. I mean, they're cute.
Did you see, Mike, that's kind of what I thought. It's pretty small.
Yeah, it's really small.
I mean, it's cute, but it
But if there's
doesn't-
subdivisions
it
that don't
doesn't-
have anything like that, then I
Oh,
don't think we need to.
I never even noticed that. Are you required to keep your bulb on?
Yeah.
Those are kind of cute, but we don't have anything in your neighborhood. Oak
Yeah,
Creek doesn't
that's
have
right, yeah.
any.
That's fine.
I don't know any neighborhoods that have the street. In fact, I think we were adamantly against street lighting at one point. Yeah, I'm okay with no street lights.
Yeah.
And originally, this was a single-family development a few years ago, and then we rezoned it to the condos, and it was higher density, and so we're back to single-family now. So I prefer less density. So that's kind of the history of it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, now that we have the whole applicant team here,
You
I
could
don't know
just,
if
you
you'd
don't
like
have to
to-
stand, you could just take that. You prefer to stand? Totally fine.
if there's anything you'd like to add to what you've heard so far,
know
so
if he's
please state your
heard
name and
much.
address.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Mike Shannon, 8,000 Walton Parkway, New Albany, attorney for the applicant. Obviously, I apologize for my tardiness. I do want to thank staff and prerogative of the chair and trustees to allow me to even speak. I will be brief because I understand that my client just said, if you lose this one, you're in trouble. So I think that maybe a lot of issues have been vetted. I would just respectfully indicate that this is not my first time in Orange Township. I cut my teeth up here when I did some work for the City of Columbus development regulations, and got to know a guy named Dick Gladman real well. Mr. Gladman, after I was in private practice, pulled me aside, and I had a really rough hearing, and he was kind of tough love kind of guy. And I said, get up here tomorrow morning at 7:30. Okay, and I came up, and he goes, listen, I like you and you got potential, but you have to understand people in Delaware. He goes, there's only one thing they hate more than lawyers. I said, sir, what's that? And he goes, lawyers from Columbus. And I said, okay. And he goes, there's only thing more they hate more than a lawyer for Columbus, and that's one who wears cufflinks and drives one of them damn foreign cars. And he goes, now how many kids you got? I said, 5. And he goes, does your wife drive? Yeah, she has a van. He goes, drive that van, get rid of those cufflinks, and you'll do better next time. So he's probably rolling over in his grave. But long story short, I have been doing this for 44 years. I struggle to think of the last time I did a downzoning, which is what you're hitting on. And I did study at the urging of staff and the Planning Commission. One thing that you do here I've never seen before is they require a conceptual off-the-cuff discussion with a couple planning and zoning members before you start. They made it clear the vested interest the neighborhood had historically, the change from what was to be a single family, as Trustee Natchez said, to the condominiums. We have not only taken it back to the single family, but obviously have had to go through the required development standards for public roads and things of that nature. So we did spend time with the neighborhood, Jared in particular, and there was consensus, as indicated by the crowd here tonight, that we were headed in the right direction. We worked diligently with P&Z. Had their conditional approval. We satisfied those conditions, as hopefully was into the record, and the one condition that is outstanding is on me. We did not submit the routine letter of fire service to Lieutenant Clark until Friday afternoon. I thought that our civil engineer had done it within his scope, and he apparently did not. So I got up here and got to meet the deputy chief, and Lieutenant Clark is going to get back with, or actually, I'll be getting back with him on Thursday tomorrow. And to the extent you might be supportive, I'd recommend that that be a condition that be added consistent with planning and zoning. And again, my sincere apologies. Second time I've been late in my career, and the first time was our 4th child, but I don't have that good of experience tonight. But let me thank you for your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions I could address?
I think we had all of my questions answered already.
Thank you.
Robin, would you mind recapping the discussion that we had for potential conditions around the retention pond?
Sure, so I have 2 separate conditions. So the first would be the applicant shall revise the landscape plan to include shrubs or bushes in the common areas around lots 47, 58, and 59, and install signage that indicates where the open space is located. The second condition, the applicant shall revise the landscape plan to delineate the line between the rear property lines of lots 39 through 44, 46, 47, and 58 in the common open space. That is in addition to the modification that the applicant shall provide proof that the fire department has reviewed and approved the street layout.
Did you read that last one about the corners of the property?
Yeah, so I didn't specifically say the corners, but I wrote the applicant shall revise the landscape plan to delineate the line between the rear property lines of lots 39 through 44, 46, 47, and 58.
Okay, yeah.
So
that's
just
right.
for you guys who weren't here, the conversation was just to make sure that there's not like a neighbor squabble between, you're on my property, no, I'm actually in the common space. So we were just like, let's make that something that anybody notices, like
Yeah.
the difference. Yeah.
And then there is landscaping all the way around the other 3 lots. Or, wait, no.
Yes.
Right, so then there's no demarcation. Now, what is it, lot 58 just looks like an afterthought. Like it's right in the middle of the open space. It's just, do you need to have that lot?
Yeah, we do. That's actually, we will probably a premium lot.
It does look like it. Yeah, it's
It's a
just
big
kind of
lot,
like
yeah.
right there in the middle of everything. I mean, I guess if it's
But
demarcated.
remember, the pond's not going to be quite as big as that
That's
hashed
true.
area. So it
How
will,
much of that do you think, how big do you think the pond is going to be? It's the worst, not a good drawing of the pond.
right.
2 acres. I mean, I know it could change with the engineering,
Yeah,
but
it really, it depends on the drainage. And the pond's there, is that correct?
It's existing, yes.
Okay.
Do you know how many acres it is? Is it 2 acres? Or for that pond?
The existing
says
retention
two.
area is 2.13 acres.
Is that more like the one that's
Uh-oh.